All right, everybody, we are back again here. This is now round 10 of Hyperdrive, and we are joining up here in Q3. My video just didn't reach long enough to get the first two qualifying sessions, which were honestly pretty straightforward. Go out, set a time, retire. So yeah, Q3 here at Britain. People that know me know that this is one of, if not my least favorite tracks for league racing. I fucking hate league racing on this track. It's just so easy to drive for one, and for two, there's just so many straightaways that, like, I remember last year I had a league race on this game where, I mean, it's on here, the Mojo Showdown, whatever round Britain was, and I was 7/10ths faster than the guy behind me. But then Slipstream is so strong and the track is so easy to be consistent on that he just followed me the entire race. We still won the race, but yeah, it's just, I hate racing on this track. I mean, I like tracks to have a little bit more of a skill barrier to them and also less Slipstream. I mean, the whole track is just holding R2, but it is what it is. Expectations weren't too high coming in here because, like I said, very Slipstreamy type of track, so anything can happen.
I don't know if you got
that, and for some reason a lot of people love this track. Like I said, that is far from me, but nonetheless we worked hard getting our preparation down, and we're going to hopefully nail a lap here in Q3. Like I said, that's been our weakness so far this year, our one lap pace. Nailing turn one, absolutely keeping it pinned to the floor. Nice late braking there. And yeah, Sector 1 looking pretty good, keeping it nice and tight on that apex, walking it out wide, getting to the throttle as early as possible, hitting the DRS. One of the long chances here to just catch up to the car ahead during the race, which we'll probably see a lot of during this video. And yeah, nice and tidy so far. I feel like I remember there was also lobby issues going on early in this session, so that was something I was being concerned of early on, but luckily we did not have any issues with that as well. And yeah, this will be 2 days in a row now with an upload. You can anticipate hopefully 3 more days in a row of uploads if everything goes smoothly. The only bad news is my next 2 league racing videos, I didn't get the whole thing in the clips, so I will have to use, unfortunately, the game's theater mode and just talk about what happened in the race, which one of them it doesn't really matter because it was a pretty boring race, and then for one of them it kind of does matter, but you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. But I do have all the footage from my first World of Outlaws sprint car race, so we have that to look forward to as well. We crossed the line there in P3 for our first lap, and by the time everyone sets their lap, I believe we are, I think we stay P4, or P... I'll be honest, I don't fucking remember. Let's fast forward. Yes, and you can see in the top left, it's P6 we ended up, so not terrible. I was happy to get to Q3. Anything beyond here, honestly, is just a bonus for me on this track. So yeah, our second run here in Q3, we're going to absolutely send it. See if we can get any more positions here. I was happy to just nail a nice solid lap, which is something that for some reason in Hyperdrive so far this season, I have struggled to do so. But at least so far in SRL, I've been nailing my qualifyings. But yeah, that's the big weakness probably to my game that I need to get back in order. I feel like I was qualifying really well in F1 21, but I also just feel like it was a lot easier. As you can see there, we spin the tires. We were absolutely sending on this lap, so yeah, that's unfortunate. Not going to improve on our time here. Yeah, I feel like in last year's game, it was a lot easier to feel the limit of the car as a pad player. So yeah, this year's game, I feel like I have to be a tiny bit more tentative and leave a little bit more margin for error, especially during the races, compared to what I did in last year's game. Or maybe I just suck and I just got to get a feel for it. But yeah, I just don't feel as much force feedback coming through the controller this year, which is a little frustrating because, you know, last year on the PS4 pad, it felt perfect. And then this year's game, both on the PS4 pad and the PS5 pad, it definitely did improve after the one update they made to the force feedback. but still not to the level that it was in the last couple games past. And when things were all said and done, we would end up P8, no, I'm sorry, P9. Wow, worse than I thought in qualifying. Not a great result, but then again, you know, every little bit counts. We made it to Q3, got into P9, at least got ourselves in contention to be with the front runners here in the race, and on a track that, like I said, is very slipstreamy. As we pull ahead to the race start, same strategy as you've been seeing a lot of so far in this year's game, the hards to mediums for the same reasons as I've stated before. Not going to rehash that. Get a launch off the line. I over rev a little bit, so not as good of a launch as I would hope for. I see the red arrows on the inside, so I respect the space. And yeah, early on in a race at Britain, I really just want to make sure I don't get in any trouble. The chances of safety car at a track like this are lower because the track is a lot easier. So the last thing I wanted to do is have my race be over before it even begins. Yeah, this Alpine is really being up my butt so far. P9 currently still where we started. And yeah, he's going to have the inside as we move to the right-hander. And I see 2 red arrows on the inside, which was concerning for me. So I keep things as tight as I can to the outside, respect the space. People are absolutely burning all their juice here on lap 1. I'm not going to overfight it. Like I said, the last thing I want to do is get caught up in an incident on lap 1 and have my whole race be ruined. We actually fall out of the points here early on, which is a little frustrating, but yeah, still 25 laps to make things happen on a track that will be very easy to follow the cars in front. So if no safety car comes out and these guys start using up all their ERS, they're all going to be extremely vulnerable as the race goes on. And now the Haas is going to try to lunge on me. Everyone just absolutely sending it on the first lap. We are now going to have the inside for the last 2 corners. You see he's on the medium tire, so he's going to try to be really aggressive here. We got to respect the space, and yeah, frustrating. And we have another car on our inside, and this is just an extremely frustrating start for us. We are just getting absolutely shuffled back the order. Everyone just absolutely burning all of their juice. A really frustrating start looking back at this. It's always terrible to be moving backwards. I mean, even when it's some people passing you on a different tire compound. But yeah, all the way back now in P13. Not where I should be at all, but like I said, still plenty of time. You see how hard these guys are fighting up ahead already. We are only on lap 2, and this kind of made me feel confident that my decision making was good as they make contact to not fight too hard here at the beginning, because like I've done so many times in races past so far this season, let everyone else fight too hard, get caught up in incidents, ruin their own races, and just absolutely give me some free positions that I don't even got to fight for, and also use ERS for, which may come in handy as the race progresses. Yeah, now we have the AlphaTauri getting closer to us because I'm just getting held up by these 2 guys fighting each other. And the one thing I was concerned about, really, was them fighting each other too much, that if I did get by them, I would lose slipstream to everyone else. So, yeah, and then just kind of be stuck in a no man's land. Now I got AlphaTauri going around the outside. He's on soft tires for some fucking reason. You love to see it, and that's just another position we're going to lose here early on. Now we are back into 14th. We see the cautions get waved. I believe that was a spin behind us. I think it was behind us. You can see that the Alfa Romeo and the Haas going side by side again up front. The AlphaTauri is going to launch it. This all just kind of holds me up a little bit, which is frustrating considering, I'm on the hard tires. No one should be holding me up right now. I know I'm back in P13 right now, but a lot of cars ahead are on softer tire compounds than me, so it is kind of be expected here early on. But yeah, I would expect them to be just pulling away from me, not sitting here in front of me fighting with more people holding me up more. But hopefully now we can finally actually settle into some kind of rhythm in this race. Yeah, we still got just about all of our ERS still to use, and more importantly, we are in the mix with no damage on our car, and we still have the optimal strategy, and we are still looking very good for the long game, as we have been pretty much all season long. As long as we don't get any terrible luck we've been performing really well in the races, and even at this point, even though we've fallen back 4 positions here at the start, still really confident that this can still be all the same. Pulling it forward to lap 4, you see the yellows waving ahead. There was one car off the track, and then the Haas spins, being too aggressive on the throttle. And yeah, like I said for a reason, let everyone else be overly aggressive at the start. One car got caught up in the incident, another car got too eager on the throttle, and just like that, we got 2 of those positions back. And like I said, while some people passed me, for example, that AlphaTauri is on softs, so really we're still looking to finish ahead of him because we have the advantage long-term in the strategy. So while things seem bad right now, like always, we are still looking good in the long game. And only a couple laps later, you can see now I've caught right back up to this AlphaTauri. His pace wasn't great on the softs, so we were able to just pull right back up to him, which was a little bit frustrating for me because, I mean, on the good side, I get slipstream. But on the bad side, I don't want to get held up at all by someone, especially someone that's on a completely different strategy than me. So I'm hoping that sooner rather than later, I can overtake him and even use a little bit more ERS if I have to ensure that he doesn't just continuously, fight me back. But you'll see he's going to fight kind of hard here. We're going to have more grip on the outside. His tires just must be dying or something. Yeah, we're only on lap 6, and he's already getting passed by someone on hards. And I don't think there's that much of a pace difference between us for it to be that much. So maybe has some kind of damage. Hell, I don't know. But hey, that's another position for us. We're back into the points. Still 1 position behind where we started. But like I keep saying, still looking good in the long game. There's a little bit of gap to the cars ahead, but I have a little bit of ERS to maybe pull that forward. And now that I got some nice clean air in front of me, we can just let our pace rock and hopefully pull back up to these guys and really get into the mix for some good points. Pulling way forward now, up to lap 14. I know you see I'm in P2 there. That's just because of other cars making pit stops. A lot of nothing happened. Like I said, it's Britain, so the track's really easy, so everyone kind of has the same pace. And everyone just kind of sat in a line with each other because it's Britain, and it's just a bunch of slipstream, Really great track. No sarcasm at all. Really great track for league race. I'm so happy that it's in every single league that I've ever raced in. But yeah, nonetheless, get the medium tires on, nail our pit stop, and we will see where we come out here. We will have fresh mediums to the end. 11 laps to go, I believe, or is that 12 laps to go? 11 or 12 laps to go. Some number of laps to go. Hopefully we can get some temperature into these tires quickly. And yeah, we fall down to P13 coming out of the pits, but a lot of cars in front of us will either be on older tires or the hards. So still plenty of opportunity to gain positions, and as the race progresses, maybe some more people will get impatient, and that will just create more opportunities for free positions, like the one we just got there. I was gonna run this basically all the way to the end, skip forward a lot, but I might as well stop right here. I'm up in the P8 now. There was cars ahead after I came out of the pits that they still needed to make their pit stop, so we gained positions there. But other than that, we were just kind of in our own pocket of space like we were before the pit stop. That remained the same. We are gaining on the Ferrari ahead, but at this point we already have the position on him because he has a time penalty. So yeah, a lot of boring kind of cruising on our own, but like I keep saying, that's Britain. Eventually we do end up getting the position on track, but he didn't fight me at all. He just kind of let me by because the position didn't matter. I had the position anyhow because he had 2 penalties at that point. We're going to come across the line for P7. Not a great result. Not what I want to be looking for, especially after the success I have had in other F1 games. It is what it is. Still some points on the board. And again, like I always saying, still moving forward in the races. Didn't move quite as far forward in this one as we have in other ones, but still. P9 to P7, clean on the penalty sheet, well executed strategy. our advantage is definitely in the race pace. So if we can just get our 1 lap pace a little bit better, and once we start going to tracks that I'm better at, going to have a lot more opportunities to get a lot more podiums in this league, continue to have a good push towards. We're kind of far from the championship, but we're looking good for at least P3 in points. So that's my minimal goal that I have set as we near the halfway point of the season. But yeah, this was one of those races. I mean, I always enjoy racing, don't get me wrong, but this is definitely one of the tracks I enjoy the least. Like I said, it's so easy that it's hard to gain on people if you're close to the same skill. And you just kind of sit in DRS trains when you do catch up to people, because there's a lot of slipstream, and this track is easy as fuck. So yeah, one annoying race of the season for me out of the way. We come home in P7. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to the next one. The next race will be Austria, which is a track that I'm better at than I am at Britain. But at the same time, it's another very slipstream heavy track. But it's a little bit easier to mix things up, at least, so it makes for a more exciting race because of 3 consecutive DRS zones. And we do have one hell of a race there, very eventful one. So stay tuned for that one. Not the most exciting one here today, but, you know, that's league racing. And we'll see you guys in the next one.